Yo, welcome to another exciting episode of Double D's. Let's talk about it. The podcast that touches on all your NFL news, college news, and what's hot today. We are your hosts, Damian, Deshaun, and D of D's Corner. What's going on, D? How you
What's up,
doing,
bro?
man? I'm
I'm good,
doing good,
man.
man.
Hey,
Good,
I
good,
like I
good.
like the edit. I
You
like
like
the
the edit?
edit. I
You
like
like
it.
it,
I like
man?
it.
You
I
like
like
it's
it.
just a little different flavor to get us prepared. You know, it is draft week. It's gonna be plenty to talk about, a lot of content to be able to bring to our viewers. We just want to make sure we put it out there now. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Being honest, even if you do not watch the entirety, please just hit that thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. It helps us keep getting movement even though we are making moves behind the scenes, still trying to grow our platform here. Make sure that y'all do tap in and watch D's Corner. I'm gonna put it out there now. D's Future Recruit Talk, no nonsense on the way. Still working on some things, still networking. Uh, just stay with us, stay patient. We're still trying to grow. Just grow with us. Well, D, let's go on and get into it, man. It's draft week, all kind of rumors,
Mhm.
lion season, trade season. Uh, we've had a trade happen. We got a rumor that we discussed offline. You got some news to drop about what Jerry said about Dak. So, man, I'm gonna I'm gonna go in and ask you that first. Let's go in and start with just talking about what did you see? Because I did not see it. Been a little busy to be able to.
Uh,
I didn't see that information. But what exactly did Jerry say about that?
so I sent you the video in a text. So pretty much they asked Jerry. Jerry was saying he's all in, or we're all in the draft. I think they got five picks or something. But
Mm-hmm.
he's saying he's all in when it comes to the draft. And then he said they asked him about paying Dak. And he pretty much said he wanted to see more progress from Dak,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's more contracts that gotta happen. Like he wants to see other things, like other contracts with other quarterbacks happen first.
Ah,
So I don't know, bro. It looks to me like this might be Dak's last season, and
last
I
season.
wouldn't be I
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be surprised. If I was Dak, I'd probably want it that way.
Yeah.
If I'm Dak, I probably want it that way.
Yeah.
Like they have so many issues on their roster that if they hit on all their draft picks, they still aren't a Super Bowl team.
No,
So I mean,
I
just
mean,
Jerry being
I
Jerry.
get it. I get it. The pendulum for them is kind of swinging towards okay, either we semi blow this up now to keep from having to really blow it up later. Let's go ahead and take some lumps now. Uh, it was a bunch of question marks with the first big contract for Dak, whether he
Mm-hmm.
should get it, and you could tell Jerry was real hesitant to give it to him. But he did anyway. He ended up doing it anyway. So I say that to say this, like you said, it's too many holes to fill. They don't have enough draft capital to be able to fill all those holes with this draft, or at least the depth issues. And then what? Because you're looking to draft at least what 1 to 2 starters, and then some
At
rotation.
least.
At least 1 to 2 starters, and then rotational pieces. I mean, no one really hits on every draft pick. No one really hits on every draft pick, but when you got two holes to fill on the offensive line, you got questions on the defensive line and linebacker, you got people to sign or re-sign, and you actually need a go-to tailback. I mean, in today's NFL, you don't need a lead dog, but you do need there is some question marks there with getting someone in that position. I mean, as long as I've been a Dallas fan, you can't. Through their history, Dallas has always had a marquee name at running back.
Right. Right.
Always. I mean, since their inception, it's always been from Calvin Hill to Tony Dorsett. You had Robert Newhouse at fullback. I can't remember the guy back in the '60s. You got Emmitt Smith. You've had DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco.
Yeah, Marion Barber, Zeke, you see what I'm saying? So now and Pollard's gone. So it's a big transition period. And
Jonathan Brooks.
yep. And John and that's a Jerry pick. That's
That's
a
a Jerry
Jerry
pick.
yeah, that's a Jerry
That
special right there. I really I wouldn't like it. I know a lot of Texas fans, if they watch this, would be pissed because they think Brooks is that. But coming off an injury, I wouldn't make that pick. I would go with a safer pick at that position because in today's NFL, you don't need the marquee star at that position, even though Dallas always had one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but man, I ain't gonna be the dead horse about it. I'm a Dallas fan, but I'm an honest Dallas fan, and sometimes I just be honest. I think Jerry be full of shit. He's full of shit with this Dak situation. The first time,
Big time.
the bullshit he did the first time, you should have took the hit the first time, in my opinion. If you're gonna do it, you're doing it now. You turn around and do it a couple of years later. What are we doing? You should have did it the first time, and you be coming out on the end of it now with better draft capital. You would have. I mean,
Especially
we'd be picking higher the last 2 years.
right. And not only that, if you don't pay Dak, Kirk Cousins just got 100 mil.
Yep.
Somebody's paying Dak. One way or another, Dak's getting
Dak
paid
gonna
next
get
year.
that money.
Dak's
Exactly.
getting paid next year. If he
Exactly.
plays anywhere near where he played this past season,
And that's just the thing, bro. It's like the way you said it and the way Jerry sounded, it's like you don't want to set the market for Dak, but bitch, the damn market's already been set. Kirk Cousins
it's
got
sad. It's
$100 million. It's
sad.
already
Yeah,
been set. So you
it's
might see
sad.
that's what it is. You don't want to pay him because you know you're gonna have to pay him more than what Kirk got.
And
Because I
CD's not
mean,
at
at this point,
CD's not at camp or
yep,
OTAs.
yep. This is where that thing I said, that conversation we had online, offline about, man, just go ahead and make the trades and get the capital. I mean, this is a
Yep.
draft now that you can make the trades to get the capital. I mean, if you're gonna blow it, because I mean, if you get rid of Dak, then you pretty much disrupted the whole squad.
The whole
So
squad.
yeah, so you might as well trade at least one or two of your three stars. And I mean, it's gonna sound crazy to Cowboy fans. Those fans who see this, like, what is this guy talking about? But I'm looking at the possibility of draft capital. All right, if you come up off that, you trade him because you can trade him now because you still have
Right.
him under contract.
Well, he's not now.
CD,
He's got a no trade clause. So
yeah, he does have a
if
no
if
trade
he's
clause. If he
traded, he
waives
would
it,
have to waive it.
yeah, if he waives that. But I mean, that's the same with CD. I mean, if you make that trade, you think about what you could get back in capital for the next two
Yeah.
years from just those two names. And I'm not even throwing out Micah's name. You know what I'm saying? The
What if you
kind of capital you could get.
trade Dak to Minnesota?
I would trade him to Minnesota for that pick.
They got those picks.
Yep, I would trade him for that pick, for those picks, and then a future, maybe second or third. What I would try
Mm-hmm.
to do is get back because Dallas does not have a fourth round pick in this draft. So I want your one and your four from Minnesota this year, and then you turn around and give me like a 3 and a 5 next year, something
Yeah.
like that, or 4 and a 6 next year, and work it out that way. And then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna say, CD, if you don't want to resign, we're going in a different direction at quarterback. I'm trading CD if he wants to trade, if he accepts it, or he wants to stay. Either way, then I turn around and I get more capital for a young wide receiver that is a one, but can play a two and can play all three wide receiver positions. I'm like, he can be a complement to a one, or he can be a one. I'm looking at it like this. I'm thinking, okay, I'm about the logo. I want to build the franchise with you trade those two stars, you're instantly getting yourself enough picks where you're not gonna miss on all these picks.
The only issue is their defensive coordinators on a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Your head coach is on a 1 year deal.
So
Your
you blow
starting
it all up.
quarterbacks. Your starting quarterbacks on a 1 year deal. So if you trade everything, you should have just released. You should have just
Not
hired
sign Mike
a
McCarthy
new
back.
coach. Yeah, you
Yep.
should just fired
But
him. That's if you're gonna blow it up. That's where they
yeah,
should have blew it up at first.
that's what I was saying. I didn't want
This is
McCarthy back last year, man.
this a
I
circus,
wanted him
boy.
gone. Yeah, it is a circus. It's a clown show. But
Dallas is a
I'm
circus.
looking at it from the perspective of this is a way you could save face long term. Short term, they're gonna look at you stupid, like what you just said. Why you didn't do that already if that's what you're gonna do? But
Right.
long term, you put yourself because rumors are going out that Jerry may be looking at your door. These are rumors from the college circles. So if they're targeting Shador next year, why not go ahead and make the moves to set yourself up to build a franchise around him? You see what I'm saying? Or build
Around
the
him.
program that to have the franchise pieces that you need where you could go ahead and solidify your offensive line this year if you trade that. If he waives that clause, you can get the Minnesota pick, keep your pick, and get
You
that
get
fourth
Minnesota
round
has
pick.
2 first round picks. You could
Yeah,
possibly
but
get
you could
both
get
of them.
if you can get both of them, or you can get at least one, because that gives you 2 first-round picks. Now, what I'm doing is
Yeah.
addressing the offensive line. I'm addressing that immediately. Then with that 4th-round pick, so I got a 2nd-round pick, I got a 3rd, and I got a 4th. Now I'm looking to shore up that defense, defensive depth, linebacker depth, and defensive tackle or line that tackle depth. Um, these are these are moves that I would make if possible to shore up the long-term health of the team. But we ain't got this
Yeah.
ain't a Dallas centric show. They are
Right,
part of the
right, right.
conversation. So I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. But man, I wanted to ask you, as I asked you offline, man, these rumors are starting to swirl. The circles that I follow on X, it's starting to say that this JJ McCarthy to Chargers possibly rumor. It is a rumor, but we know this is lion season, and
Yeah.
it's always finagling going on, and you up here and tear up people's you destroy people's character. You do this, say they ain't this. What was that? AD Mitchell's character just a week ago got destroyed, and I'm like, y'all, the scouts do this just to bring down the value so that they can
So
maneuver
that they
their
can keep them,
team.
so that they can
Yep,
get them.
be in position to get them. It's always
Hmm.
lies being told. This is lion season. But what's your opinions on it, man? I mean, I just found out about it actually last night, and that this was being thrown out there.
They ain't no way. There's no way Harbaugh. I don't care how much you like JJ McCarthy or anything, bro. There is no way on earth JJ McCarthy is a Charger, especially in the top 5, bro. And like I've been seeing stuff. I just dropped the mock draft. I'm gonna have my
Mhm.
7th round ready tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop another video today about players I feel like should be traded, and nowhere on there is Justin Herbert. Because if you're drafting JJ McCarthy, that means you're getting rid of Justin Herbert. Now, could you do it? Yes, because I guarantee you Minnesota would give up every 1st round they got for Justin Herbert.
Heck yeah.
To pair Justin Herbert with Addison,
And
TJ
Jefferson.
Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson
Yeah.
with that offensive line,
Yeah.
they retooled that defense through free agency. But
Yeah.
there's absolutely no way on earth they're drafting JJ McCarthy. I
That'd
don't
be a
care how
dumb
much
move.
Harbaugh loves. Now I did see where Harbaugh said he was the best quarterback in the draft, and maybe he's doing that to sweeten the pot for Minnesota to come up and try to get him at 5 or
Uh-huh.
whatever that case may be. But one thing that what I think is going to happen, I read a report this morning said that the Cardinals are waiting until they're on the clock to trade the 4th overall pick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
So they're not sold on Marvin Harrison at that spot, or
I
they
just
just
think
need
I
more?
just think they're I think if they're able to get 2 1st rounders from
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, because they already have 2 now, so they
Uh-huh.
would be getting another 1st rounder that put you at 3 1st rounders. You'd be in a position to get Quinion Mitchell, Brian Thomas Jr., and one of the top edge rushers.
That's
So
true.
you really be able to. So they have a lot more holes that they'll need to fill because they didn't do much of nothing through free agency. So I can see that happening.
Okay. I see
One
it.
thing that a lot of people don't know is Marvin Harrison Sr., the first touchdown pass of his career, Harbaugh threw to him.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
him to
Harbaugh
come
was the
in at
quarterback then.
5,
Yeah.
and take Harrison Jr. would kind of
Which
be
is
a
the
full
position of
circle thing
need.
too. And
Yeah,
here's
that's
the
true.
thing: the Chargers have to sell tickets. You're
Yeah.
not JJ McCarthy's not selling more than what Justin Herbert has.
Yeah.
Now you pair him with a Hall of Fame pedigree player in Harrison Jr.
Junior. Mhm.
Now we're cooking. Now we got a 1-2 punch. Everyone's gonna need a 1-2 punch. Kansas
Mhm.
City's got theirs with Kelsey and Mahomes. The
Mhm.
Raiders don't have one. Denver doesn't have one. The Chargers have one part of it with the quarterback.
Yeah.
The Raiders having one part with Devontae Adams. The Broncos neither part really, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think if the Cardinals trade out, that's where I think the Chargers would go because they're not expecting Marvin Harrison to fall into their lap. I believe they would take him.
Hmm. All right, I'm gonna throw this
I
little
think
small list out for you, man.
okay.
Um, Trey Lance, Mitch Trubisky. What was the quarterback that was drafted? Carson Wentz. Did I say Rosen? Josh Rosen. What they are? That's just a few names. They all got in common. Zach Wilson falls right in
They
that
consider,
list.
they're all
Blaine Gabbert.
considered bust.
Blaine Gabbert.
Hmm.
We
And see,
transitioned into this
but
because of
that's why I
Denver.
don't think, man. Yeah, that's why I don't think like McCarthy would be there. That's just that is. I think
Yeah,
with those, he was never asked to carry a team. And
yeah,
in this NFL, like your quarterback there's gonna have to be some games where he put it on his back.
yeah.
But I see
And
where I see where you was transitioning to.
transitioning with the Denver situation with Zach Wilson, the effects that it have, even though we haven't brought them up yet. With first, we'll start with Denver. So, does this mean that Denver, with that pick, doesn't? I mean, it's wild because they don't have to necessarily. They're not necessarily going to look for quarterback now here. I mean, I guess they're going to put their eggs with Zach Wilson and just build the team around them for the next quarterback, or maybe what's the name? Thinks he can get something out of him.
I think he's
I don't
gonna
know.
do. I think I never thought Denver was gonna trade up, and they have a lot of holes.
Yeah.
So I didn't see them trading unless they could get the two. But one of those top three, they're picking
Mhm.
12th. They're
Yeah, they're
picking
picking
12th. So
12.
you're going to be looking at the fourth, fifth, or possibly sixth best quarterback in this draft,
Yeah.
depending on how the top 10 shake up.
So
I don't think that's the route they'll go. I think what they'll do is I can see them possibly trade back some,
okay.
accumulate some picks. There's been a
Hmm.
lot of intrigue about Spencer Rattler. Um, I can see that Denver in the Mile
Hmm.
High. I can see Joe Milton later on as a project.
Yeah.
I can see Jordan Travis as a project.
Yeah.
Um, if I can see him trading back and trying to take Bo Nix maybe in a second and building
Okay.
up, But I don't. Sean Payton, he's under contract for the next 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think they gave him 5 or 6 years or something like. He's got some money, so I mean they're going to give him the chance to build up that team. And I don't think you're going to try to dump all your eggs in a basket trying to get the fourth, fifth, or sixth best quarterback in this draft, thinking you're
Yeah.
going to compete against Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was getting ready to ask anyway before you pretty much hit the nail on the head, man. When I was going to ask, well, they're in a perfect position in that spot where typically you may see a trade back to
Yeah,
accumulate more, to acquire more picks to be able to continue to build the roster since they have so many holes. That situation with Zach. Now let's switch to the opposite side. What do the Jets do now? Because I didn't look at the finalities of the trade and what the Jets acquired by trading Zach Wilson. So I don't know exactly what they
they
accumulated.
a 6th round pick. If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, the Jets traded Zach and a 7th to Denver for a 6th.
So
So I mean,
basically, you used the first round pick to draft this kid just 2 years ago, and now you basically trade him away for pocket lint and a button.
look at the whole 2021 quarterback draft class.
Oh, I know.
The only one on their original team that drafted them is Trevor Lawrence, Trey
Yeah.
Lance, Mac Jones,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
uh, Zach Wilson. Who else? I just seen the clip the other day, or
What's on it?
I seen it posted
Was
the
it
other
was
day.
it Washington's quarterback that was at Washington?
Sam
Sam
Howell.
Howell.
I
Wasn't he
think
in
it
that
might be
class?
Sam Howell.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett wasn't was what was Kenny Pickett? No, Kenny Pickett wasn't part of that class.
I don't think he was part of that class.
No, I think he came to class the next one, the next draft.
Justin Fields was
But
the other
I'm
one. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. That's who it was.
Justin
Justin
Fields.
Fields. That's right. Justin Fields.
Zach,
Wow.
Trey, Justin, Mac Jones. Those were
Hmm.
the four. Those are the four.
Yeah, that was the
All of them being
2020.
first
Yeah.
round picks too. All of
Yeah.
them being first round picks too. The only one on his
Wow.
original team is Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. So what do you think the Jets do now? I mean, they can't continue to hitch their wagon to Aaron. Aaron's losing it. He's coming back off of an injury, a serious injury that he's trying to recovering from, and he's going to be there. But I mean, he's already long in the tooth before the injury, and then it looks like his mind is going a little bit too. So I'm like, what do they do with that pick? They're in a position. They're not going to get one of the top three quarterbacks, but do they go quarterback here to try
No,
and have
no.
someone to just sit under Aaron, or do you think they just ride it out and say we'll
They're
suck
going all
next
in
year?
this year. They're going
Okay.
all in this year. Whatever happened after this year, this is how I look at it. If they win the Super Bowl this year, nobody's going to care about next year because they finally won. They haven't won a Super Bowl
Okay.
since Joe Namath. So
Yeah.
when you think now,
68.
as a Cowboys fan who ain't seen them in the Super Bowl in how long, if they win a Super Bowl and next year all 53 men on this roster on a different roster, are you going to care?
No.
Because they
It's
won the
I get
Super
it.
Bowl.
It's basically the
So
Tampa Bay situation when they took
yep, they're going
Brady
all in.
all
Yep.
in.
We'll
Yeah.
figure this out
Gotcha.
afterwards because
Yeah.
there will be a lot. There will be a quarterback that comes available one way
Hmm.
or another. One way or another. So I think they'll try to go Brock Bowers if he's there.
Hmm.
Rome Odunze if he's there. I
Yeah.
did a mock. I dropped a mock the other day, just trying some crazy trades, and
Hmm.
I had the Chiefs jump up and
Yeah, I saw
get
that.
in front of the Jets and take Brock Bowers. So
Brock Bowers.
that will put them taking Olu Fashanu or one of those
Yeah.
top tackles. I mean, Fatanu because he can play guard or tackle. Tyron
Joe
Smith,
O.
you got to prepare
Hmm.
that he's going to have at least some ding or something where he's going to miss a game.
Miss
But
some
at the end of the day,
games. Yeah.
he's a Hall of Famer. So get somebody behind him who that they can groom. Roger
Yeah.
says he might play more than this. He might play next year too. So I mean, if they're able to put a young team around him, I can see him coming back. He's egotistical.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
egotistical. But
So
let
that
me ask
that
you a
lead.
question.
Yeah. Go
Let
ahead.
me ask you a question for you going where I want to steal the combo real quick. But
Uh-huh.
we're talking about expectations. Your team is the Cowboys.
Hmm.
What is your expectation for the first round? Do you expect Jerry to trade back, play it safe, take a position of need, or if somebody falls to him, how CD fell to him and they didn't necessarily need him, do they jump that route?
Man, that's a tough question because all three scenarios I've seen in my lifetime with Jerry. Take
Right.
position of need, take the best available player, or take some bullshit. I see I've
Mm-hmm.
seen all three, and I got a feeling Jerry gonna end up taking some bullshit here. I really do. When there's a position of need. Now, if I break it down to percentages, let's say it's 60-40. 60
Okay.
40, he takes bullshit over taking a position of need. Everybody knows Dallas needs to address the offensive line.
Excuse me.
But
Right.
Jerry, just because of who Jerry is, a turnaround and draft the Texas running back or the Texas defensive tackle, because that's what Jerry does.
That's the
Or
yeah.
yeah, that's what Jerry does. But he may surprise, like we did in our mock draft, and he may take the kid from Texas A&M.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There are no Arkansas possible first round picks, so he's not going to do that. But to answer your question, I really think he's going to underwhelm here in the first round. I got a
So
feeling.
you
I'm
expecting
not.
Friday
Yeah, yeah.
Friday to
I'm
be
disappointing.
we ain't gonna be talking about them and what they did
Nope,
in a positive light. Gotcha.
nope. And I'll be the first to admit if I'm wrong, because I'll be a realist about it if I'm wrong. But it's just a pattern. Cowboys draft well. They do draft well. They hit on a lot
They
of their
do.
draft picks more so than they don't. So if now let's put it away. You said Jerry. Now
Right.
if Steven has anything to do with it, see, you left that little alley oop for me on the backside there. So I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. If Steven drafts, then I think we play it safe and take the need. If
Gotcha.
Jerry makes the big input, then he gonna want some kind of splash bullshit to
Splash
bring
play.
tickets. Yeah, to
For
bring
all those
tickets.
fans, for all those Cowboy fans say we drafted a Hall of Famer and then
Yeah,
be out in the first round.
yep,
If they
exactly.
make it this year. If they
if
make it this
if
year.
they make it. I think it's still enough talent to get to the playoffs. I just don't think that it would have to be an amazing run. I don't like the defensive coordinator hire. I actually, I'm not gonna get more on the Cowboys. I actually think McCarthy should have been let go and they should have just went on and
Yeah.
hired Dan Quinn as head coach. But anyways, sticking with your question, Jerry's gonna draft bullshit, but if Steven gets involved and he has been involved in the past few drafts, I think they take the best available or the need, which
Gotcha.
offensive line is the need. They either a center or a tackle is what Dallas should be looking at
Right.
first round. If the best available tackle, if he's first round grade, take him, or take the best center because the what's the name if Johnson is there, which I don't think he would, from Oregon, take him. If he's there,
Okay.
Dallas take him. That's who I'm taking.
The
If he's
center.
not, yeah, if he's not there, and if you got Guyton or something like that, then you take him. But I would address offensive line.
I think
That's
that's
the
the route
need.
I had him going.
Yeah,
The
I
one
would
now,
address.
the one thing I think Jerry will do if they go offensive line at any point in the draft, he gonna shuffle that offensive line around.
Oh yeah.
He gonna try to figure out what he already
Hmm.
has and put them here and there. Terrence Steele has played guard, right tackle, and left tackle. I wouldn't be
Hmm.
surprised if he's starting out at left tackle and y'all go
Yeah.
rookie right tackle
Yep. Go
because
rookie
I think
right
Tyler
tackle.
needs to stay at guard.
Yeah, to give solidify the interior with him and Martin. But
Right,
especially you think about it because Martin is up there in age, Tyron's already gone, so you got to get younger at that position.
got to.
You haven't been healthy either. Martin's missed games, Steele's missed games. Then you had Smith miss so many games the last 2 seasons, and then
Yep,
even Tyler Smith is a little shaky at times. So offensive line is the key here. Reestablish the line of scrimmage offensively. You tried to do it last year with defense. You can address those places later down the draft.
right.
If they don't trade back, then I would. If that's your question, I definitely would go offensive line. If I'm the GM, and I think Jerry should do that. But
Gotcha.
going into the draft, man, what's your expectations going in tomorrow, man? It's that day. We here. We got just what less than
Well,
24 hours now.
my son got a baseball game at
Okay.
7:30. Normally we play on Mondays, but this week we ain't had nothing going on. We ain't playing until Thursday. So
I got
big
you.
big guy, if you could just drop a little rain, I wouldn't be mad at you.
Oh
but
man.
no, but no, man, I think it's gonna I think my expectations are it's gonna be full of trades, but I'm like in my mock I did, and I'm working on my 7th round now, and it's
Okay.
crazy. It's crazy. So I don't think my expectation is the first 10 picks are not gonna go no way, shape, form, or fashion the way people think they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Because I think there's so many things that you can do. Like when you start looking at like a lot of I know like, when we do the drafts,
Hmm.
like when you do your mock drafts, whatever, we just try to go here off of what we would do. My final
Hmm.
draft, I'm working on actually like looking at the division, what they have, what we can do, this and that. That's why I think
Hmm.
the Patriots are going to trade out. It
Okay.
doesn't make sense for. I think they're going to work the draft. Them and the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Patriots will be able to trade out, jump back up, and still walk away with a player like Malik Neighbors and multiple picks afterwards. Um, because I think they'll be content with Jacoby Brissett. They have a good defense.
Hmm.
You have to build up your offensive line, quarterback, and your weapons. Your weapons are trash. But Miami is coming up with cap issues. The
Hmm.
Jets will be coming up with cap issues,
Hmm.
and the Bills, we already seen what they've done because of cap issues. So, like I said, from the very jump of the offseason, beginning of the offseason, the Patriots are in position to kind of snatch the AFC East back. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think they'll trade back. Um, I feel the same way when it comes to the Cowboys. I feel like Jerry's gonna make a pick, and most Cowboys fans are gonna be like this. Um, I think the Colts will probably trade back.
Hmm.
Our GM loves working in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
I think they'll go edge. I see people thinking about them trading up and going Brock Bowers. I don't see it. I think the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will trade up and come and get a weapon somewhere. Somewhere.
I I'm gonna speak hypotheticals because as you were saying that, and you mentioned Dallas again. If I was the GM of Dallas, you know what? Who I would trade? I would trade Dallas their first round pick. I would trade it
Who?
to the Panthers in the second round. the
Yeah.
Panthers would be looking to move back in. They could still be in a position to get an edge or some needed players there, wide
Wow.
receiver. The reason why I would do it is because you can accumulate a lot of future picks out of that. Outside of the trade talk we were talking about, hypothetical. This is all
Yeah.
hypothetical to our viewers. I would do that to acquire more picks. I know, I'm just hypothetically saying if I was Jerry, but we know he ain't gonna do it. But going forward, I'm gonna ask you this question. Going because we usually get the most intrigue towards the back half of the first round. Who is a player that is projected lock first round that you see most likely sliding? Because we always have that guy that sits in the green room longer than everybody thought he would. What was it? Will Levis when he was sitting there and he was
Levis,
putting mayonnaise in his
Aaron
coffee or something.
Rodgers.
Aaron
Oh
Rodgers
yeah, he
slid.
did do that nasty
Yeah,
jump.
Warren Sapp slid. I can remember that legendary slide. Who else sat in that green room for a good minute? Didn't
Yeah.
everybody thought he was a first rounder? But just we ain't got to come up with all the names, but uh, we always tend to have one unexpected player, prospect that you could see going between 10 and 15, 10 to 20, and then they end up or projected top top 10, and they slide all the way to the back half of the first or early of the second for some
Kool Aid,
reason. Mhm.
Kool Aid. I think could slide. I could see Pashanu sliding a little bit.
Mhm.
Trying to look at names. I can see JJ McCarthy sliding. To be honest with you,
You think
I
so?
could I could see JJ McCarthy sliding. Um,
We did
we've
say it's
never
Lions
seen
season.
we've never seen four quarterbacks go top four picks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and even trying to do the mock draft, the Bears and the Commanders need a quarterback. Commanders have Marcus Mariota. That's
Yeah.
the only quarterback on their roster right now. They're going to take a quarterback.
They're going quarterback.
The
Yeah.
Bears, they got rid of Justin Fields.
They're going
They're going
quarterback.
quarterback.
Hmm.
The Patriots don't have to go quarterback. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Now, I can see them if Drake May is there. I can see them taking Drake May and allowing him to
Hmm.
sit. I can see that. I can see. To be honest with you, I feel like the Patriots are probably in a win-win situation. If they trade back, cool. If they take Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever doesn't go two, if they take him three and allow him to sit behind Jacoby Brissett, you're cool there too. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Nate Wiggins, I can see him sliding. I can see him slide just because how thinly framed he is.
Xavier
Um,
Worthy then too. You could throw him
Xavier,
in
but
there also.
I don't think he'll be a first round pick.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be a first
But
round
he's
pick.
been, there's been some projection late first,
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Um,
interesting. Interesting.
I'm trying to see.
Uh the kid Newton out of Illinois. He didn't do a
Mhm.
lot of workouts. I know he had some injury issues, so I don't even remember hearing if he did a pro day. He may have, but he didn't test at the combine. Decent film. What are your thoughts on him possibly sliding? Because I mean, this is a
I could
balance. It's a balanced D tackle class, but it's not a deep defensive tackle class this year.
I could see. I'm looking now to see what he did during his pro day. So he had a foot injury. It says that did allow him
Yeah,
to participate during the pro day.
yeah,
So,
and that's
but
what I thought.
I could see because he's able to move up and down the line. Like he can play in
Mm-hmm,
a 4-3 or a 3-4.
mm-hmm,
He can rush from the inside or the outside. He can stop the run. He's I think he's like 6'2".
mm-hmm.
So I mean, like he's not like terribly small or short. Um, he's 6'1". They got him listed as, but he's 304 pounds. I could see Brian Murphy. I've seen a lot of people say him. The Bears taking him at 9. I couldn't see him going
Wow,
that high. I
wow,
couldn't see him going
that.
that
Yeah,
high.
that's too high. That's too high in my opinion too. But with the
I think
fact
the
that
first defensive player won't go off the board until 8 between 8 and 15. Between 8 and 15.
Yeah. I mean, your first defensive players are going to be between. It's going to be edge rusher. It's either going to be Latu. What's the kid from Alabama?
Turner, Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner, or Jared Verse. Those are your three first defensive players off the board, especially on the line. Your edge, your first defensive tackle is either going to be Murphy or Newton, in my opinion. Those two.
I can see the first defensive player being Quinion Mitchell.
Yeah, I think a defensive player will go off the board, but I was talking about as far as your line, your defensive line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Your corner, I think it's between Quinion Mitchell and what's your guy that not Kool-Aid, Tyrion
Arnold.
Yeah, I think those are your first two defensive backs off the board. In my opinion.
I expect DeJean to be a Packer.
Yeah. Just as much as I expect Wilson.
Peyton.
Peyton I'm settling in with him fitting there. Either there, if it's not there, he ends up in Pittsburgh. Got a feeling. A city like that, Pittsburgh.
I know you would hate it if he went to the Eagles.
Oh yeah, man. I wouldn't mind us taking him, but we couldn't take him with the position we're in. We couldn't, because we're not. He'd be gone before we draft. I think he'd be gone before our second pick, which I think is like 87. So
now I do see talks of Philly trying to trade up. So if they're trading up, I think they're going to try to go defense. If they were able to trade up and they were able to go Brock Bowers, that would be freaking bananas too, because Goddard got hurt last year.
Oh my gosh, man. I hate to show people my angst on here, man, but I'm so tired of this. It's like, how do these mofos keep having money, man, and making these room? I mean, they're going to pay the piper eventually. It's the league. So eventually they're going to pay the piper, and they're going to lose a lot of talent because they can't sign them all. And it's not like college. You can't stockpile and keep them all.
Mm-mm. But see, I think that's why like bringing in Bryce Huff, trading away Hassan Reddick helps them out, because you still have Nolan Smith. They kept Josh Sweat. They could go Liatu Latu. They could go Dallas Turner. They could go Jared Verse, and then you still beefed up that defensive front. They re-signed all their offensive line. I can see them going Tyler Guyton because Lane Johnson is older. They're both Oklahoma tackles. He could, show him how to be a pro when he rides out to the sunset. When he rides off to the sunset, they're set there.
Yeah.
But if you look at how they have drafted, to me, that's why I think they've done so well. They've been like the Alabama and the Georgia of the NFL. They've had 5-star prospects waiting in the wings, and as soon as they usher one out, they bring in another one. They have been the ones. But that's why I say to veer to the Chiefs, their roster is so tough. Their roster is so set. You have the Rashee Rice issue. Their only real issues is offensive line. There's still some starter quality offensive linemen in free agency. DJ Humphrey and Smith, who played with him last year. I can't remember his first name. Played left tackle for him last year. So you can bring him back. You can bring DJ Humphrey back. So now you're set at your tackle position. Your interior is good with your guards and your center. Your running back is good. Your wide receivers core is decent, especially now that you picked up Hollywood. Rashee Rice most likely is going to be suspended, but Travis Kelce's getting old. Next year,
a young tight end.
Next year they have 2 third-round picks.
Yeah.
Next year they have 2 third-round picks. So with who they have, what they show that they can do. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl with his worst offense of unit this past season. Can you imagine if they're able to incorporate a 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, and one of those tight ends being Brock Bowers, who is more of a conventional tight end blocking wise and stuff, and you allow him for the next 20 weeks to learn how to run those unconventional routes that Kelce runs, and get on par with Patrick Mahomes? Look how Kelce turned up in the playoffs. Rashee Rice will be back by the playoff. You'll have Hollywood as your burner. Your offensive line will be straight, and you'll have Pacheco still running a rock with being able to dump the ball to Kelsey or Bowers. I know that's a crazy what
Crazy.
if, but
It's a
golly,
crazy what
that is
if.
a what if for you
And then
though.
the creative mind that Andy Reid has, and the fact
Right.
that you can move Bowers around.
And
I
you're
mean,
chasing
anybody, yeah,
chasing a three-peat. You're chasing a
yeah.
three-peat.
But anybody that gets Bowers, they're gonna bet the flexibility that he offers and he'll be able to bring to an offense is unreal. Because I mean, you can basically line him up in the backfield as a fullback kind of blocker. You can
H back.
flex him offset H back. He can be in line or off, or you can even flex him out in the slot, or even out wide.
And him and Kelsey require you to have at least 4 DBs on the
Yeah,
at least 4 corners on the field to cover.
yeah.
Then you have Pacheco who runs like a madman.
Madman. So you can be physical or you can be finesse when you need be.
All in one personnel set.
Yep, without
All
ever
in
having
one
to change
personnel set.
personnel, but it allows you flexibility in your formations. I mean, like you said, that their formation, their 12 personnel, I mean, they can stay in 12 and flex out or run what is it,
Right.
12? I mean, 12 to 11 personnel. They just, it's so many things
Instantly.
they could do instantly without ever having to substitute. That's what I like, the flexibility that he would bring to your offense.
And
You
he's
never
nice.
have to change. Yeah.
He's nice at blocking. He's nice
Yeah.
after the catch. Andy Reid is the screen king.
Yes.
Then, like I said, you have Hollywood who you can dump the ball to and he can take it a distance, or he can run past you. You'll then have Rashee Rice who can work the middle of the field. Kelsey gonna do what he does. Brock Bowers will do what he does. And then when you look at it, who again, like I said, when I'm doing this final draft, I'm looking at my division. Defensively, who is stopping that? The Raiders? Nope.
No,
Denver?
not in that division.
Nope. The Chargers? Nope. So we're automatically in the playoffs. We're automatically into the playoffs.
And the only team that can even pose any kind of threat is still a little young, and that's Houston, in my opinion.
Exactly. And even with
personnel.
that, and they're young on defense. When you deploy that veteran-rich offense with the addition of Bowers against that young defense, and they still would have to come through them because I think Houston has the potential to be 2 or 3, so they wouldn't play them into the AFC Championship game. 9 times out of 10, that would be in Kansas City. That's a tough place to play.
Yeah,
that's a tough place to play, and then it's going to be cold when you're going to want to run the ball. Everybody knows Kelsey will block, but he ain't the best blocker. Bowers blocks.
Yeah,
Bowers blocks.
That screen game too, because I mean, if he
that
would end up
in
Kansas City, they could use him. I remember seeing all the things Todd Monken did with him at Georgia. It was a lot different this past season than it was the previous 2 years, and how they moved him around and were able to all kind of different kind of screens, rollouts, throwbacks, stuff like that. I mean, it's just he's not limited in what he'll be able to do because you can put him in line, even though he's not traditionally your inline tight end, but he can play that position because he can block.
And he can be a move piece.
Yeah, he can be a move piece.
Me thinking about it, and I posted it, and somebody was like, man, that'll never happen. Kansas City's not going to do this. They got so many holes to fill. What holes do they have to fill?
What holes? They don't have any holes.
They had the youngest defense last year. They already, even though they got rid of Snead, they had enough corners draft-wise.
And this is a draft they can go and fill that role later.
And this is a draft they can fill it later, as well as they can still add to their receiving core because this is such a deep wide receiver class.
We actually touched on it last night, me and the group on Twitter Spaces, and we talked a little small amount of NFL in the FSU space. And we touched on that. I mean, this is a draft where you can get a defensive back going well into the late second, early third. You get about the same as a wide receiver. I mean, the draft goes that deep.
Fourth,
in the fourth, that can be at least a number 2. You can at least get a 2. You can get a 1 into the late second. You should be able to, by mid to late second, still be able to get a number 1 wide receiver, and you can get a 2 probably by mid third. That'll still be there, mid third or even early fourth, and then I think it goes down after that. But as far as defensive backs, I think this is a deep defensive back draft. We've heard the first names mentioned like Kool-Aid, Tyrion, Quinion, Dejan, and who am I leaving out? Nate. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, but then you think about it, you'll still be able to get some guys who tested well, like TJ Tampa, what's the kid from Rutgers, Ronaldo Green
Melton.
from Florida State, Jaron Jones from Florida State, those two.
Andrew Phillips is a
Safety
player I
wise,
like from
yeah,
Kentucky. From
yeah. What's the
Kentucky.
kid from? Yeah, from Phillips from Kentucky. What's the kid from Texas? He's a little long. He's a little tall, but he had tested well, decent film. I mean,
From Texas.
for where?
Oh,
Yeah,
Texas. Talking about Texas Tech. Owens.
Owens,
Tyler
yes,
Owens,
from
I think his
Texas
name
Tech.
is.
Yeah, Tyler Owens. And then the kid from, I
There was
mean,
another one.
Tyler Newbin from, if you're just talking defensive back
Minnesota.
overall, from
Yeah.
Minnesota. You're gonna be able to get these players that most likely end up being stalwarts on your roster well into the third, early fourth round. So I mean, it's not a panic situation for
At
franchises
all.
that's looking for depth pieces and starters. I mean, you're going to build your draft. Everybody knows you build your draft. You really build your roster in the late second, between the late second and fourth rounds. That's
Right.
where you build your roster. Your stars usually typically supposed to come from the first, but history shows a lot of them stars end up being from the second to fourth
Later
round.
picks
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
Yep.
Anyways,
And then
so
there's gonna be a ton of free agents, a
yeah,
ton of undrafted free agents that can go. Cause
yeah,
what's the kid Weaver from Colorado?
yeah,
He could potentially not get drafted, but I mean he's got talent.
yeah,
He's got talent. He could come in and be a fourth, fifth wide receiver working his way. You know what I'm saying? When you watch the film. So that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. So like a team like the Chiefs, there's so many routes they could go. They could stay and
yeah.
use all their picks, or they could trade
Hmm.
up, make that one home run swing, and then fill out everything else. Because Andy can find those players, man.
Yeah,
And it's like their defensive coordinator is one of the best playoff defense coordinators in the game. The Eagles are another team. Their roster so stacked they could go up for somebody.
yeah.
They could go up
You
and make a splash and piss all the NFC East off.
exactly. I mean, they've already done it the last 2 years.
Right.
The only thing they haven't done is actually bring home the hardware yet. But they've done everything necessary
They've
to get
been
there. Yeah, they've been
well.
there.
They took it home. They took it home with Foles. They took it
Yeah,
home most
but I'm talking
recently
about
out of
as a
everyone
recent.
of the
I'm
other
talking about
team.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
the aggressive moves they've made over the last 3-4 years
Oh, I
with
got you. I
what
got you. I
they've
got
done
you.
in the draft. They got to the Super Bowl. They weren't able to bring it home. But I mean, everything they're
Got
dictating their organization is doing is saying we got our shit together. And then
We're up
exposing
now,
the
and
teams who
we're up
don't.
now, and from here on out, that's what it
Yeah,
looks like.
exactly. It's kind
That's
of
what it
run. They're
looks like.
running their organization sort of like how the 49ers run it, how
Yep.
Texas is Houston has started to run theirs. I believe, as you said, the Patriots are heading in that direction. They're starting to run their organization a different way now. Uh,
Yep.
and then the teams we already discussed that still want to stay in the stagnant mode or the old way and not build not being aggressive in the way they're doing things. It's just smart and aggressive. Let's put it that way, because
Right.
anybody can be aggressive and end up with one player and a bunch of trash or no players because it's just a bad draft. But I'll close on this, man. For myself, I'm looking forward to the draft. I've watched it numerous times, but I think because of where we're at and the direction we're trying to go as content creators, I ain't really looking. I haven't looked and anticipated a draft that much in a different perspective since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then, the way the draft went, it was Saturday, and you sit there
All
all day
Saturday and
watching the
Sunday.
draft, Saturday and Sunday. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's gonna be. I'm pretty sure we'll probably hit each other with a few texts here and there.
Yeah.
Uh, and tap in. We'll be back with everybody Friday. We'll put this show out, and then we'll shoot a show Friday, man. I'm banking on that. I just want to make sure once again everybody know to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out D's Corner. Check out his Monday show coming up. D, you got anything you want to add? You want to plug? Anything you want to
No,
talk
man,
about
just
before
like,
we close out?
share, subscribe. Y'all go check out some of the mock drafts I knocked out. Like I said, I got my final one. I'm gonna drop tomorrow. I think 5 players that I think could be traded or will be
Mhm.
traded during the draft. I'm gonna drop that today. I'm gonna should within the next hour or so knock that out.
Okay.
But that's it, man. That's it. It's been fun. You know, we got some stuff personally and professionally that we're waiting on, and so that we can get on here and start getting even more views and subscriptions and whatnot, but better quality videos, more consistent content. We're building, man. Y'all just come watch us grow, help us grow. Like, share, and subscribe. It don't cost you nothing to do it.
Well, that does it for us, man. We tapping out with everybody. We say peace out, and y'all have a wonderful and glorious day. Thank y'all.
All right, y'all.